Hey guys, welcome back. So now we've finished with the like and dislike button, we've styled it correctly and they work great. The only thing left to do is to make it so that if you're not signed in and you press it, we want to do some sort of action, maybe ask them to sign in or something, okay? So in this video, we're going to do that. We're going to make it so that if the user isn't signed in and they press the like or dislike button, we're going to show them an alert saying please sign in, okay? So it's real simple to do. So there's not a whole lot of code to do at all. What we're going to do is go back to our button provider.php file, and you'll see here we pass in this action to the function, and action is going to be the function called when you click it. So you'll see here we put on the on click on the button, the action, so whatever the function the user passes in, that's the function that gets called when the user clicks the button. Now all we want to do, we've left a comment here for this, we just want to check that the user signed in, and if they are, we will put the action here just like this. But if they're not signed in, we're going to change this action and override it and use a function which will tell the user to sign in. So really simple. We're going to create a function above, and it's just going to be one line of code, all right? So create the function. So public, it's going to be static as well. So public static function create link like this. Create link. And it's going to take one parameter, and the parameter is just going to be link like this. It's going to take a link. Maybe this will be a URL, or maybe it'll be an action like a function call like this. It's just going to take a parameter. We're just going to call it link, okay? So create link, and then all we're going to do is return, and then if the user's logged in, we want to return this link. If they're not logged in, we want to return the function which is going to tell the user to sign in. So we're going to do this in one line using a ternary statement, just like we have before. So we just need to check if the user's logged in, and we do that already in the header.php. If I open up the header.php file, header.php, you'll see up here, this line of code checks if the user is logged in. Now, at the moment, it's just a line of code there, so if we want to check the user logged in again, we have to copy and paste that line of code. But what we're going to do is just put this into its own function. So first, I'm going to take this bit of code, this is set right up to the parentheses like that. I'm going to cut that, okay, I'm taking it with me, and I'm going to open up the user.php, and I'm going to create a function which just checks if the user is logged in. It's real simple. So we're going to say public, and we're going to make this static as well, which means they don't have to create an instance of the class in order to call this function. So public static function is logged in like this, and then it's going to take no parameters, and all we're going to do is just return this like that. So just return is set with this session user logged in, all right? And that's it. So then all we need to do is back in header.php, because we've now removed that, we just need to call that function, and because it's static, we don't need to create an object by saying user equals new user or anything like that. We can just say user colon and then is logged in, which is of course the new function we just wrote. So that's it. We've just put that into its own function, and the reason we put it into its own function is so that now we can just call that function whenever we want to use it again. So I'll close down header.php now. We don't need that anymore. So close it down, and then I'll close down user.php as well. We also don't need that anymore. And then back in button provider, just where we left off, we're going to just return. And like I said, if the user logged in, we want to return the action. So we'll say user logged in, and then question mark. And if they are, we just want to return link. And if they're not, so put a colon, we're just going to return a sign in function. And we don't have the name of the sign in function yet. So what we're going to do is create a property over here. We're going to say public. Public, will make this static as well, so that in order to use this property, we don't need to be in an instance of the class, because remember, this function's static, so if we're in here, we don't have an instance of the class. So all we need to do is say public static, and then this variable is going to be called sign in function, like this, and it's just going to be the name of the function, which we'll just call not signed in, like this, which of course we need to create. But let's go ahead and use this variable, so I'm going to copy that name, go down to here, and we're just going to say button provider colon, and then paste that in there. And that is it. We're done. So all this is going to do is if the user is logged in, it's going to return the link. Otherwise, it's going to return this function here. Okay. So the very last thing is just to call this. So back in this create button function, replace this comment with action equals button provider colon, and then create link like this, and just pass in action, okay, and that's it. Great. So the last thing to do is just create this function in the JavaScript file, and it's really simple. It's going to be a small function. So copy the name of the function, so not signed in, copy that, and then open up our commonactions.js file. So in the assets.js, we created this common actions JavaScript file right at the start of the course, and then we're going to create a function here. So outside of this document already, so right at the bottom of the page, we're just going to create it here. So we'll say function not signed in, like that. And then all this is going to do is alert, so show a pop-up to the user, and we'll just say, you must be signed in to perform this action. Now you guys are free, of course, to do anything you want here. Maybe you want to show them a prompt to sign in. Maybe you want to take them back to the register page. It's completely up to you, but at the moment, all we're going to do is just alert this. So save that. Let's go test it out now. Of course, if I refresh the page, it's going to work because we are still signed in. Okay, so it still works as expected. So we have to log out first. And because we haven't done a logout function, what I'm going to do is go back to any file, let's say watch.php, and just add this in here. Just anywhere in this PHP block, just say session underscore destroy, like this, session underscore destroy, and this will sign you out. All right, so what I'm going to do is save that and refresh the page. Okay, and we should be signed out now. So if I refresh the page again now, just to be sure, so we should be signed out, and if I click this now, hopefully we'll see the alert. You must be signed in to perform this action. Again, if I try and click like, it will do it. And you'll also notice that the like button isn't shown as active because it's not us that pressed it. We're not signed in. And one more thing, remember to remove this. If you don't remove this, you will not be able to get access to this page when you're signed in. So this is just for testing purposes to help sign us out until we implement the logout function manually. So if you use a session destroy, do not forget to remove it when you're done. So once you've signed out and you're happy it works, delete this line. So delete session destroy. I know I'm reiterating that a lot, but I have a lot of students that have problems with that. So just make sure you delete that line once you're done, okay? It's just to sign you out until we do the logout function. So there you go, it works. And you can go ahead and sign in again because we want to use user functions, all right? So make sure you go and sign in again. And yeah, that's it.